Hi guys. I think I'm live and I'm a little bit early. How are you guys doing today? Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here. This video will also be going up on YouTube. So if you are one of my YouTube subscribers, welcome, welcome. If you are a non-subscriber, please click the subscribe button. Everything that I have here on YouTube for the YouTube people is so far it's just replays from my live events. But welcome. I hope you enjoy this video all about moon magic today. And let me get popped in so I can see if anybody's here with me. Welcome, welcome, as we are coming into the live. Hey there. Send a little wave, let me know that you're here. I'm curious, have you managed to catch any of the other videos in this series? This is part of the birth chart training, even though moon magic isn't birth chart related. It is something that was highly requested within the group and something that I absolutely love talking about. So this video is going to be all about moon magic. Hey, Chris, how are you? Happy Friday, happy full moon. Today is the full moon in Virgo. If you're watching this live with me, happy full moon. And I'm curious, how did your homework go for your tasks yesterday? So yesterday we worked on the houses. We learned about the houses in our birth charts, and we started putting together the pieces between the houses, the planets, and the signs. And so I'm curious, has anybody done any of their homework from yesterday? Welcome, welcome. As we're popping in, send a little wave, say hello. Hi there, Paige. How are you? So happy to see you. Today, we're going to be talking all about moon magic. So first, do you guys know what moon magic is? Do you guys do any sort of moon magic rituals? Do you celebrate any of the moon phases? I know a lot of people here have been attending my workshops for the first quarter moons, the last quarter moons, the full moons, and the new moons. And this is basically what we're doing, is we're doing moon magic within these workshops. And so I'm really excited to dig in and talk about the different moon phases, what they mean, and the types of magic that we may want to do during that phase. Hello, hello, welcome in, guys. Okay, so yes, just diving into it, says Paige. I love that. Oh, Chris says she charges her crystals. Yes, we're going to talk about that when we get to the full moon. I love it. Lynn, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, Lynn. So happy to have you here. We are talking about moon magic today. Okay, so any questions for the training so far before we really get into today's training? Good afternoon, Lynn. Good afternoon. So I wanted to just kind of start off by talking a little bit about my relationship with moon magic and how it's changed and grown throughout the years. So in 2017, I was in meditation. I had taken my first ever coaching course. Lesson 4 in that coaching course was all about your dream life. And I was happy, right? Like, I was working in a job, I was doing accounting, it was very well paying, it was comfortable, I liked the people that I worked with, and I liked my job. But it really stood out to me when I did this lesson that while I liked my job, it didn't really fulfill me, right? It didn't really feel like something that I loved doing. And within that lesson, I had been meditating every day for several months at this point, at least a month at this point. And so I decided, okay, let me just do a meditation around my purpose. And I had one thing written on the paper by the time I was done, and that was life coach. And I had no idea even what a life coach was, to be honest. I have a much better idea now, having been a life coach for a little while. But at the time, I didn't. I started researching life coaches. I found a health coach training that I enrolled in because I'd gone through like a lot of fitness changes over the past 2 years prior to this. And so I enrolled in a health coaching course. And hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I enrolled in a health coaching course and it just kind of all happened from there. But one thing that was really clear to me from the beginning is that I wanted to heal from my miscarriages, from my losses, from, a lot of the things that I felt were keeping me stuck in maybe some negative vibrations. And so I'd say somewhere maybe in 2018, I found a place in Phoenix that was called the Goddess House. And I started attending the Goddess House ceremonies on the full moons. So every full moon I would go. I feel like I might have been doing it on the new moon and the full moon, but I'm not exactly sure. But I was definitely going on the full moon. What I loved about it was the sense of community. What I loved about it was seeing the same faces, my friends, people who would eventually become my friends in this room where we celebrated the moon phases, where we thought about letting go, where we thought about opening up into new versions of ourselves, higher versions of ourselves, higher vibrations. And it was just a really beautiful experience to be in community and to be celebrating the natural seasons and the cycles of the moon. And so I have been celebrating the moon and, taking moon magic lessons, which I think anytime you do moon magic, you learn a little something, right? For years now. And so eventually, I ended up going to these sound baths that would happen every new moon, every full moon. And that was really nice too, because it gave me like this very vibrational openness. I started really going to these different workshops, maybe ecstatic dance and just sort of things like that, and really experimenting with these different healing modalities and always revolving around the moon cycles. And so through time and also through research, I've learned about the different moon cycles, how we can really respect these cycles of the moon, how we can tap into the magic of the moon. And I'm really excited to be here sharing it with you today. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any moon magic questions. Chris, I see your question and I will get back to you on that because I'm not exactly sure, but keep in touch and I will get back to you on that question. Thank you so much, Lynn. Welcome, Brooke. Okay, so any questions before we get started about the moon phases? So we really have 4 phases to the moon, but today we're going to be talking about 5. There's a slight differentiation between the new moon and the dark moon that we're going in to go through. But really we've got the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, and the waning moon. So let's just get started. Let's start breaking it down and move into the slideshow. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's get started. I'm going to make sure everything's sharing properly. There's a little bit of a lag, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Perfect. Okay. So starting out with moon magic, by the way, you do have this in your astro guide, but you may not have all of this information in the guide. I added the seasons, the cycles, the energy. I may have added a little bit more to like the example rituals and things like that as well. So just know that this is similar to your guide, but maybe not exactly like your guide. Okay, so let's start off with the dark moon. This is when there is no moon in the sky, right? So it is the new moon, but this is very specifically those days where you don't see any moon at all. It's just totally dark. The season for this moon in terms of like the feeling and how you can kind of think of this as an inner season is the winter season. We talked about the menstrual cycle in the spring live, so I wanted to kind of bring it into this conversation too. We talked about how if we do not have our own physical cycle, if we're no longer bleeding, we can actually tap into the moon to really feel that cyclical feeling. And that can, people tend to say that it feels really grounding to connect with the moon in that way. So the dark moon is like our bleeding time. This carries an energy of introspection. So really going within, right? This is a time for soul searching, for being by ourselves, for shedding what we're ready to let go of. We may really crave isolation at this time. And sometimes if we are pushing ourselves really hard at this time, we may feel really burnt out because we're not really honoring the energy that's around us, right? Or the energy that we're feeling. So if we're pushing ourselves when we're at a new moon phase, it may feel like we burn out a little bit faster. Some example rituals to do during this dark moon phase are to meditate, find stillness, ask yourself what you're ready to shed, what you want to create. And this is a great time for a burning ceremony, as is the luteal phase. I think it might be in both spots. So really we're thinking about like that hermit phase where we're going within and we're finding new perspectives, we're finding introspection, we're maybe taking a look at the previous cycle and the next cycle and really figuring out what we want to do next moving forward. Okay, let's move. Any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments. Let's move on to the next moon. Okay, so next is the new moon. So this is similar, right? Because the dark moon was just, there was no light in the sky. The new moon is when there's a sliver, right? The moon phase is the tiniest sliver in the sky. This is also the season of winter. This is also the menstrual or the bleeding time when it comes to the cycle. And whereas the last energy was very introspective, this energy is almost like you're starting to peek out and you're starting to plant those seeds in winter time at the beginning of spring, you know, like right there between winter and spring. You're planting those seeds, you're setting intentions, and you're planning for what's coming up. So this is a time for developing ideas, activities, plans. It's a time for new beginnings. It's a good time to start a new relationship and explore new activities. Hi, Rainy. So some example rituals during the new moon is to set an intention, light a candle and tune into that intention, right? So you can sit there and stare at the flame on the candle and just like really place that intention into that candle. And I'm curious, are any of you guys interested in spell work? I am somewhat interested in holding a spell casting class in the future. So let me know if it's something that that sounds good for you guys. Because we can go through like a ton of different spells where you can set intentions, right? But like candle gazing was just a really good example of that. Hi there. Okay, next up, we have the waxing moon. So now the moon is getting bigger, right? So we talked about no moon and then like a sliver of a moon, and now we're really waxing. We're starting to get bigger. I have no idea what that is. What is? Oh, spell casting? It's casting spells. Okay, so the waxing moon is as the moon is getting bigger. It is it's the season of spring, right? This is the follicular cycle or the follicular phase within a menstrual cycle, which is pre-ovulation. So it's after the bleed, but before the ovulation. And the energy of this moon is amplification. We're seeing that the moon is getting bigger and this power is being amplified. So we feel this energy internally as well. And so it's all about amplification. This is the phase where the moon appears to grow in the sky. It's a great time to concentrate on amplifying the things that you already have, maybe stepping into something that maybe has been hidden. What would you like to see grow in your life? This is also a great time for healing. Brooke says no, and then she says maybe. I have an entire video all about magic and the 3 keys to magic. And truly, that's all this is, in my opinion, are 3 things. Anyway, that's a video for a different day, but it's not. Yeah, it's like setting an intention, just like Rainey said. Okay. So some things that you can do on the waxing moon is to make a plan, set a mantra for the moon cycle. So you've already made a plan, you've set your seeds. We're just kind of checking in with ourselves during this phase. We're saying, okay, how are we doing on making progress on this? We're looking at maybe what could be blocking us, and we're setting a mantra to help us continue moving and continue amplifying, right? This is a great time for mantras, affirmations, focusing on those mantras, focusing on those affirmations, really bringing in that amplification. Okay, moving on to the full moon. The full moon is represented by the season of summer. It's for the menstrual cycle, it's ovulation, it's this actualization, right? It's what we've been really working towards throughout the cycle. The energy for the full moon, and we're in a full moon today. We're in the full moon of Virgo. It's all about manifestation and creation. And so the full moon is a time for fulfillment. There's a lot of activity around this phase, maybe trying to perfect your thoughts and your plans. Your psychic abilities might be heightened. Meditating and manifesting is stronger right now. Both the new moon and the full moon bring body sensitivities. So we might feel touch much more sensitively during these 2 phases. We have a heightened awareness and a heightened sensitivity. So keep that in mind. And also the moon, really, the full moon amplifies any feelings that were already there. So if you were going through something, that might feel even extra hard during the full moon. So just be mindful of that and know that those energies are amplifying right now, whatever you have inside of you. Some example rituals here are to charge crystals, make moon water, create an altar, boldly ask for what you want. So this could be like, it is today, Rainy. It could be like yelling into the universe exactly what you want, right? This is like boldly asking for what you want. If you are looking for a raise, ask your boss for a raise today, right? Boldly ask for what you want. If you're planning on raising your prices, do it today. Do it in the full moon. Practice gratitude, bless what you have, really look at everything that you have manifested so far and feel grateful for it. Maybe even feeling grateful for the things that you are manifesting, right? So this is a very outward energy. You might feel like you want to do all of the things and see all of the people and really actualize all of those plans for this moon cycle. So I wanted to pause a little bit right here and ask you, what sort of moon rituals do you guys have around the full moon? Rainey says you should see the cards I pulled for myself today. Talk to you later about them. Yes, send me a picture. I would love to see them. I actually did some card readings for myself today as well. So I love that. I didn't even put that on here, but a card reading is a really great ritual for the full moon. Charging crystals. So if you'd like to charge your crystals, you can leave them out under the full moon. You can put some crystals in your moon water. Now, make sure you're checking to make sure that they're water safe crystals, because some crystals will disintegrate into your water. So make sure that you know exactly which crystals are good for your moon water, but you can charge your crystals at night under the full moon. You can make moon water. You can put all sorts of things in your moon water to, first off, your intention, right? So placing your intention in the water before you set it out. Also, you can use herbs or crystals or oils, anything that you like. Be mindful if you're going to be ingesting it. in terms of making sure that you are only adding in things that are healthy to eat. And so I'm curious if anybody makes moon magic, what do you use your moon magic, or what do you use your moon water for? I have on here creating an altar. And so I'd love to hear any experiences that you guys have with charging your crystals, making moon water, creating an altar, any specific full moon rituals that you have. I love that question, Chris, and I was about to get into that. So what do you do with the moon water? You can use them in your spells, right? So I was talking about spell casting. You can put it on your altar. I love to have the 4 elements represented on my altar. And a lot of times I just take a little bit of my moon water and I place it on my altar. Like I said, you can ingest it as long as you have made sure that it is organic ingredients, ingestible ingredients within it. You can take little sips of it and imagine that intention like washing over you, knowing that the moon is going to amplify that intention. Like I said, you can use it in spells, you can water your plants with it. Somebody just told me yesterday that they made moon water and watered their plant that was almost dead, and now it's alive again. And so, yes, really nurturing ourselves with it in whatever way that feels nice. You can put it in your bath water, right? You can take a very nice ritual bath on the full moon, releasing anything that doesn't serve you. One of the things I like about my full moon ritual baths is to put rose quartz in the bath, rose oil in the bath. I really love having that kind of rose fragrance for the full moon. So you can even put some herbs and things within your bath, maybe some actual petals of flowers in your bath. And then when you are done bathing, you can put some of your moon water in there to add that intention that's been amplified by the moon. As you drain your water, feel all of what you're letting go of just release from you and leave you. Stay in that bath until all the water's gone and everything has released. So there's lots of ways that we can get creative to use the moon water. I'd love to hear any other ideas that you guys have or any other ways that you've used it. My plants, drinking. Paige says, I charge crystals and made moon water for the 2nd time last night. I love that, Paige. And you don't have to do it on the night of the full moon. You can do it a night before, the night after, maybe really even up to 2 days before and 2 days after. So there's still plenty of time, guys, to make moon water for this full moon if you'd like to. Okay, any other ideas or questions about the full moon? Moving right along. So we've talked about no moon, we've talked about a sliver of the moon, we've talked about the waxing and then the full moon. So now what we have left is the 2 weeks where the moon is waning, right? Maybe a little bit less because a couple days I count as the full moon and a couple days for the new moon, but around 10 days of the waning moon. The waning moon feels like, okay, Brooke says, I heard you should set it out 3 days before or after. I personally like to do it within 2 days before and 2 days after. So really there's that 4 to 5 day window, Brooke, where the moon energy is the strongest. I had already answered it. Okay, so anyway, the waning moon is as the moon is getting smaller. So this is the season of fall. This is the luteal phase within our cycle, which is also called PMS, which is also post-ovulation. So within our own personal cycles, we've gone through shedding the lining, which is the period or the bleed, the menstruation. Then we went through our follicular phase, and this is actually when the eggs are getting prepared for ovulation. This is our spring, our inner spring. Ovulation is, the manifestation time, and this is when the egg is released. Now, up until the bleed, after the egg is released, is our luteal phase. So this is the energy of release, right? During our luteal phase, we've just released the egg, and we are waiting to see the harvest, right? So this is the same. We're releasing, the moon is getting smaller. The moon energy is waning. And this is that energy of release, the energy of fall time. This is when the leaves come down from the trees, right? So this is the phase where the moon appears to shrink in the sky. It's a great time for releasing, concluding, tying up loose ends. What do you want less of? What are you ready to let go of? Getting rid of bad habits, difficult relationships, and toxicity. So really think of this as a time that we're really connected to what's good for us and what's not good for us. We're like looking at how we manifested up until that point within the cycle, and we're looking at what we want or need next to move forward. So we are very aware during this phase of, the discernment, right? So if you're working on discernment, if you're working on boundaries, this could be a really good time to check in with what's feeling good with you and what's not. An example ritual here is to remind yourself of your mantra, really taking a look throughout the entire cycle and looking at how everything's going towards your intention, cutting out what's not serving you. And this is a great time for detoxes, right? We're releasing, we're letting go of. So instead of amplifying things, we're actually letting them go during this phase. So I'm curious, are there any questions? This concludes the moon magic. We had the 4 phases. I added a little bit of a distinction between the dark moon and the new moon. So technically 5 phases. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to cover? So, we talked a little bit about today being a full moon. We have a full moon ceremony tonight. We're going to be doing breath work with Chris. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. So today is all about self-love. It's all about forgiveness. And actually, this is the last full moon before we move into the new calendar year. So the calendar, the Zodiac calendar, starts for Aries season, which is March 20th, the first day of spring, 2 days from today. So this is a great time to release whatever is not serving you, release whatever you don't want moving in with you to Aries season, the beginning of the new astrological calendar. It's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, or maybe 6. I'm not sure. I think 6 or 7 Mountain Time. Let me stop sharing this. Okay, I'm back, guys. Let me look real quick. I might be able to find that for you. Let me open up my calendar. Yes, 7 p.m. Mountain Time tonight. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So I'd love to see you guys there. This is a free workshop. This is the last time that we will be offering a full moon workshop for free. After this, it will only be a part of the membership or upon purchase of a ticket to the full moon event. So that'll be the only ways that you'll be able to get into the full moon events after tonight. So I'd love to see you guys all there. Please take advantage of this last, yes, 8 p.m. Central. Yes, exactly. Please take advantage of this last free full moon. And most of you already know this, but just in case you don't, the Cosmic Expansion membership has a workshop for the new moon. We have a workshop for the full moon, which is available to members only. But I also do first quarter moon and last quarter moon workshops, and those are held on TikTok and in the Facebook group. When I can swing it, when technology lets me, I go live in both places. If I, for some reason, can't go live in both places, I will post the replay in the Facebook group after it's over. So with the membership, you are able to really tap into not only the ceremony and the magic itself, the magic of manifesting, of letting go and bringing towards you, but you also get the community, right? So you, like I said, when I first started my moon workshops, I And since I've been running moon magic workshops, which I've been doing for years now as well, it's the community, it's the sisterhood that's involved in having a moon ceremony. That is half of the magic. It's the being witnessed in what you're ready to let go of or what you're ready to bring in. I've seen a lot of you guys say it during the workshops is, I feel so seen. I feel so heard. I didn't know other people struggled with this too. So as we're listening to the other people within the workshop share, we're like, oh yeah, me too. And it helps us feel like we're not so alone. So having the community is part of it, and the moon magic is part of it, and just the embracing of the cycles, the embracing of the seasons, the embracing of change, which I am very passionate about, as you know. Okay, so anybody, why don't we just put a word of resonant to close, something that we're taking away from the moon magic training today? I see a lot of people saying, I'll be there. I love that. Yes, yes. Rainey says, don't forget to join the membership. It's going to be amazing. We start in just 2 days, guys. Technically, we start in 3 days because the first video is on the 21st. So jump on in. You can jump into the membership at any time. On the website, it talks about the enrollment dates and what the timing of your signing up and then which season you're signed up for. So feel free to check that out on the website. I'll leave that linked down below. And thank you guys so much for joining me using moon water. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for always sharing your love and your light on my lives. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I appreciate every single one of you. Brooke says, love the bathing ritual. Yes. Paige, intention, intention, intention. 100%. Yes. I actually really like setting intentions instead of goals nowadays. Like, goals feel rigid and they feel almost like something you beat yourself up over if you don't reach them, but intentions just feel so expansive to me. You're so welcome, Lynn. Alrighty, guys, with that, I'm gonna wrap up, but I will see you guys tomorrow for the wrap up. What we're going to be doing tomorrow is I will be sharing a worksheet with you that will help you put the pieces together of your birth chart. We're going to have planets on there. We're going to have we're going to have the signs, and we're going to have the houses, and help you like really put those together to make really complete sentences and thoughts. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. It's at the same time. And also I'll be doing a giveaway tomorrow for a free 30-minute private reading with me. This is a card reading. And so I will be choosing a winner for that tomorrow. And a lot of it will have to do with interaction on these 4 videos that have already been posted. So if you missed one, feel free to jump back in, make sure to comment, make sure to like, and interact with the videos. And I will see you guys tomorrow or at the full moon workshop tonight. Bye, guys.